I had to stop apologizing for putting myself first, however that looked. After my mom passed away and my youngest was 3 months old, you can imagine, I was underwater. But I needed to find myself again, and part of that is feeling good. You need to feel like your best self in order to show up fully in your life. And I think that oftentimes people don't make that connection, and they just want to be so selfless. But you have to take care of you in order for you to take care of everyone else that's relying on you.
Broadcasting from the Queen City, you're listening to the What Gives podcast.
I was sending our producer a calendar invite for today's podcast, and I think he thought I was like kidding him or something. He's like, Mitchell's Salon and Day Spa, I'm coming. Aaron, are we getting pedicures? What's happening? No, we have a way cooler day than that. We're not getting pedicures, although I would like that. I would like that today, maybe. I'm going to call. But I'm here with Mitchell's Salon and Day Spa very own owner and president, Logan Hines, on today on the What Gives podcast. I have to say that I have been out with like my financial advisor that's a female. We've gotten manis and pedis at Mitchell's before. And so like, yes, you're right. It is the new meeting.
Yes.
And I think you look around the salon and in between processing time, right? The ladies are on their laptops.
Yeah.
And honestly, we may be more efficient at the salon than we are some days at the office when we're sending emails.
Like our mental clarity moment.
Yeah.
When I'm on an airplane, I really focus.
Right.
You're processing your color.
Yes. And then when I leave here, I'm ready to take on the meetings.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and how just this location came to be, because I'm just looking around here like this is awesome. I want to come downtown, get drinks afterward across the street at the Lytle Park. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me and for being here. I love to show off our newest location. We've been here a little over a year, and it's definitely a more boutique feel than any of the other locations are. We offer all of the same category of services, just with a smaller footprint, and it's a very intimate space, as you can see. We had the gift of being contacted by Mr. Barrett and through the Lytle Park Hotel, and they really wanted to offer this amenity, a spa amenity, to their guests, be it within the hotel or nearby. We're right across the street, as you've seen, and it allows us to serve the local community as well as the hotel guest transient community, which is exactly what their goal was when they reached out to us. They were wonderful to work with. It was such a special team. And this was the first lease that I was able to sign to add to our existing portfolio of locations, and really got to build it from the ground up. It was a labor of love.
Which is so exciting. I think about when I was looking you up before this, doing my homework, how many locations you have. Is this the fifth then?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the other fives for our listeners?
We have Kenwood, which is above Crate and Barrel and the Container Store. Hyde Park, which is by Nordstrom Rack. Tri-County, which is on Princeton Pike, kind of on the outskirts of Tri-County right there. And then also Westchester, which is by Tylersville.
Yeah, I'm familiar with all of those. And I do have a family of women that frequent Mitchell's.
We love to hear that.
It's a great space. It's a great space. So I think about like the founding, how this came to be. And I was reading that your mom started this. Is this correct? And can you walk us through like the why behind her actually saying we need to start something, or a salon? Like, how did this come to be?
Yeah, we are definitely a legacy brand. The first location was in Montgomery, right down from Montgomery Kroger. It was called Mitchell's for Hair, Skin, and Nails, with like 11 employees. My mom was a businesswoman first. She's from the west side of Cincinnati.
Okay. Can I ask where?
On Ebenezer Road, Schwinterberg Hills.
Okay.
My grandfather was a plumber. My grandma stayed home, and she had 2 sisters, and they were just a very, hardworking, good family.
Yeah.
And then my mom kind of broke the mold by saying she wanted to go to college, which was a little bit more unheard of then. And she paid her way through at UC and was an accounting major.
Wow.
She was always a businesswoman first.
Yes, it sounds like it.
Yes. She worked for Coca-Cola and 3M and probably various other corporate companies that I just don't know about. But how she got introduced to our industry is she worked for a permanent wave manufacturer at some point in time that no longer exists. And through that role, they purchased a salon downtown, ironically enough, that was failing. And it was kind of part of her responsibility to figure out why it's failing and bring it back into the green. And through that, she really just fell in love with the industry. She felt like she was such a visionary. She still guides us in so many ways. And she just fell in love and felt like there was a need for more of a full service, one-stop salon and spa versus your neighborhood, like mom and pop beauty parlor.
Right.
And she felt like, I could do it. She never accepted no. She always believed that she could do it. And if she couldn't do it, she knew that she could, pick up the pieces at the end of it.
Yeah. And really to think back, like when I think of Mitchell's, I think it's like the luxury, like it's somewhere you go that you know that you're going to have the best service, right? And I guess, did she have the vision to create that? Because it's tremendous. It really is a alone brand in my eyes.
Thank you.
Because of that, because it is that like white glove treatment and taking care of everyone from start to finish.
Education is one of our founding principles when my mom opened up the first location, but also education is so important to her. Obviously, she went to college, paid her way through raising me. I knew that education was a category or an area that I could never be less than. Like I knew that I had to show up in school always. If my grades slipped, that was a non-negotiable. That was an expectation of me to do well in school. I wanted a high school graduation party and she was like, "What? Like you aren't, did you think you were like, of course, this was she was looking, this was an expectation.
Right.
When you go to college and graduate, then we can talk about a party." I'm like, "What?"
Oh my God.
But it was just, it was part of,
I like that.
Part of who she is. And I get it, honestly, now raising kids. Like I want them to be capable humans and always do their best. And that's exactly what we expect of our employees.
I love the name Mitchell's. So tell us about how you selected that name.
Well, I did not select it, but my mom obviously did. And it, ironically enough, is her middle name.
It's her middle name. I didn't know that.
Yes. So her maiden born into name was Deborah Mitchell Kaiser.
Okay.
And most of her life, she was Deborah Mitchell Schmidt with my father.
Yes.
But yeah, Mitchell is her middle name. She said she always felt like she was given that middle name for a reason because her sisters have very traditional, like Anne or Beth or like traditional names. So
Marie.
Yeah, like she's like, this wouldn't be Amy's Salon. And yeah. So yeah, it's Mitchell's for my mom. My middle name is also Mitchell.
I literally had no clue. This is such a good question now that I hear the answer because I always thought it was like your maiden name and your mother's name.
Yeah.
But it's the middle name.
It is. It's the middle name.
How special.
My middle name is also Mitchell, and both of my girls are also Mitchell in the middle.
Oh my gosh. I was literally like going down that rabbit hole. Like, are they Mitchell?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The question was asked to me when I
what a legacy.
Wanted to, I have two girls, so I want them both to carry the middle name. And, can they have, can both kids have the same middle name? Right. Like, are there middle name rules that I have to adhere to? No. And to me, that is my tradition. And, as women, we change our last names.
Yes.
And the middle name can stick with them for forever.
Right.
And for me, my middle name is more important to me than,
I like that so much. Yes. I feel like that is such a special thing and an amazing takeaway. I'm like, man, can I have more kids now? No, I don't need any more children, but that's a really good idea to do something profoundly with meaning. So thank you. Thank you for sharing.
That's where it came from. Now, of course, my son will probably be the one to take over the business that does not have the middle name. But My mom always said this was her dream. It didn't have to be mine. And
I like that.
I want that for my kids. I want them to, she held on to the business long enough for me to make the decision for me, and also to make sure I was probably capable of taking it over. Because there's no way my mom would have been allowing me to take the reins on this business if I was not capable.
Right.
Just because I was her daughter. But I want that same gift for my kids to make the decision.
So when you were a child, I'm like putting myself in your shoes. Had this salon been founded yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was there one or were there multiple? Like, what do you remember?
Well, it opened in 1983. I was born in 1986. So the salon was 3 when I was born. I don't have any memory of the first location. And to be honest, I'm not sure if we were still there when I was born, because she expanded pretty quickly. She grew out of those walls pretty fast. And then we moved to what we now refer to as Old Kenwood, which is over by First Watch. And they were there for a really long time.
Yeah.
So I remember like the brown doors that were kind of Art Deco inspired. We basically kept, as a tenant would move out that we shared a wall with, we would take it over, blow out the wall. And it was a very piecemealed space that worked for us, but also because we just kept expanding outside of those walls. I remember what it looked like from the beginning through remodels. I grew up there. You know, my babysitter was the nail technician giving me a pedicure when my mom had a knee pain. Or I took naps in her office. I helped stick her products. My mom, I wanted to help so much in the salon, but obviously, as she called it, I was like the special kind of help because I was a kid.
Right.
So I counted change for the clients that were older and patient and thought it was cute. Yeah. I counted their change.
Yeah.
I stickered products when I could help purchasing when we weren't slammed. So
When you think about like your path then, because now meeting you, seeing you as you really are that owner president, what do you think was like those like transformational moments for you in your upbringing? I mean, it doesn't have to be your young childhood. It could even be the college years or after. But what do you think really solidified your role here and then continuing to carry the torch and grow?
You know, I think part of it is obviously how my mom raised me and how I watched her lead within the walls of our salons. Yes, I worked at Mitchell's growing up, but I never was given special privileges because of that. I was a teenager. I would try to weasel my way out of the schedule for a concert or wanting to go out with my friends or not liking what I was doing. And she would always say, well, who is your boss for this position? Or who is your boss today? And I had to listen to them. And I remember the first meeting I was in with her, and not that she was mean ever. She was a very kind woman, but she definitely commanded a room and was dominant. And that wasn't mom, you know, it wasn't like the mom I was used to seeing.
Yes, the directness. And
afterwards, I mean, she was direct with me, but also she was mom. She was warm and loving and just a different soft place to fall. And I remember looking at her and being like, I do not know if I like work, mom. Like, who was that?
Yeah, the different hat.
Yeah.
Right? Because you wear a different hat.
And she's like, Logan, we would not be very successful if I was mom at work. And I really understand that a lot now. I feel like she truly was the most transformational person in my life. Always. Sorry, now I get emotional.
No, I totally get that.
You know, I have experiences outside of the walls of Mitchell's.
Yes.
But nothing has impacted me.
Right.
Like she has.
She has.
And it's because of her values that when I came back into the business, I wanted to earn the respect and the trust of our employees. Some of them call me Logie because they've known me since I was a kid. And I like that.
That is so amazing.
Who we are. But I also wanted to, you know, I went to Xavier and got my MBA in the evenings. And I went to the Kelley School of Business and had my undergrad there. And I worked elsewhere for a little bit outside of the company because I wanted to earn my office more than my name.
Right.
That was really important to me.
Right.
And she never led with an ego, and neither have I. We lead with our hearts, and we're in the business of people.
Right.
You know, and my mom passed away 4 years ago. And that was obviously just as transformational of a moment for me, just in a really hard, emotional way. Why I got emotional before, because she's not here anymore.
Yes.
And I don't have my safety blanket.
Right.
But
Right. You're doing it.
It's
in a way
the leader who I am.
Yeah. And I think in a way, if you are like spiritual in any way, I always think about those people that have impacted us as just special people in our lives, whether it's a mom or a dad or a grandma or whoever it may have been, that there are still, like, when you were opening this location to me, I'm like, I'm sure she was like cheering for you. That's the way I think of it today. And I'm kind of like, no matter your belief, right? It does feel good to know that I'm sure she was cheering you on.
I feel her all the time.
Yeah.
And multiple people within our company feel her all the time.
Yeah.
And she had such a commanding presence.
Yes.
That she's impacted, like, she lives on in so many different people.
Right.
I was at a work event recently and they told us to envision a leader in our lives that changed us or helped us grow into the leader we are today. And I was there with multiple people from my team who have been with us for a long time. And I think every single one of them wrote down my mom.
Yeah.
And that just shows...
That has to feel good,
the impact that she has had. And that is truly how she led and how she built this company.
Yeah.
With her heart and grit.
And grit.
Her heart.
Definitely grit and heart. So when I think about you, and I obviously see the heart and grit, I recently have come to know you more than just as the face and owner of Mitchell's, which is an incredible business, but also that you are that empathetic leader, that really good person. And I think you can sense that in someone. But when I think about you, I think for people to understand, you are juggling a lot of things. You have 3 children, isn't that right?
I do.
Okay, so what are their ages for our listeners?
Yeah, I have Sophie, who's 4, the baby. She is very spunky and wise, smart beyond her years. William is 6. He's in kindergarten and just this absolute sweetest soul you've ever met, put on this earth to be a brother. And Poppy is 8. She just turned 8 and she's in 2nd grade and reminds me in so many ways of my mom.
Yeah.
We called my mom Go-Go, or Poppy is the one that started that name term Dogo as her like grandma name. And Poppy is totally mini Go-Go.
And I like
so
that.
Many ways.
So she definitely has it, which is exciting to see that, like, in your kids.
Yeah. Well, and I get to raise them just like my mom raised me.
Right.
Within the salons and seeing mom work and what that takes and those values. Yes, it is a very hard juggling act being a working parent, as I'm sure you can relate to. But I love that they see that in me.
Yes.
Like, I love that the example that sets for them.
Right. It does. I mean, they can see it right before their eyes that mom is working hard and that women can lead and that women have space in a boardroom as a business owner. I think something that I want for the future women is not for it to be a small number of female entrepreneurs, right? I want to see that number grow of women taking risk, starting business. And I'm sure right now you're definitely instilling that because that's important. So many times we tell our daughters, don't take a risk. Don't step into this business. And so I would love to hear your advice for not only women that are working, other business owners, but just on, you've experienced it. Your mom taught you could run a business. I want all young girls to know that they can do it.
Yeah. I just always want them to believe that they can do whatever feeds their soul. There was a moment when Poppy was younger and I asked her, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she told me a dentist or a mom. And I was like, well, you do know that you can do both. You can be a dentist and a mom. And yes. And she was like, oh, I cannot do both. That seems like way too much. I said, well, Poppy, mom does both.
Yeah.
I work and I'm also your mom.
Right.
And I just want them always to believe that whatever their soul is drawn to, if that's a job or a family or whatever their hopes are, that they can achieve that. And taking risks, I always want them to take risks.
Yeah.
I'm like, you try your best always. And if it doesn't work, we will learn from it and we will pick up any pieces we have to pick up. I say that to the people within our walls at Mitchell's as well, because you have to try.
Yeah. You grow so much.
And if your heart is in the right spot with it, it will be okay. No matter how we have to pivot, if we have to pivot on the other side, it will be okay.
So kind of a fun question I have for you is, so we're both, I'm about to be 40. So I'm, I got a year. Well, I'm in January, so it is coming for me like a freight train. And what are some tips that you would say, since you are in the beauty industry, for our like working women, our working C-suite women that are listening to this? What are like the tips that you would share for just, I don't know, glowing as you're aging like a fine wine, right?
Yeah, aging gracefully. That's what I always like to refer to it as. I think for me, it's just, I had to stop apologizing for putting myself first, however that looked. After my mom passed away and my youngest was 3 months old, you can imagine I was underwater. But I needed to find myself again. And part of that is feeling good. You need to feel like your best self in order to show up fully in your life. And I think that oftentimes people don't make that connection and they just want to be so selfless, but you have to take care of you in order for you to take care of everyone else that's relying on you.
Right.
So I found a personal trainer to get myself physically back in shape and also just to have those endorphins and that outlet for myself and me time. I regularly scheduled facials with my esthetician. And that is my splurge because I would rather not have to wear makeup or as much makeup and feel comfortable and just like my skin is glowing. To me, that helps me, set my day on a right foot. I feel like I'm actually the most regimented about scheduling my esthetician appointments, my facial appointments. My hairstylist, I oftentimes walk past her station and she's like, "Is your appointment scheduled? You need to ensure that it's on my book." So yes, whoops, sorry. And I did recently start getting massages here and there. I felt like I never did that because, I'm thinking during my massage or I'm still working. I like to get those when I'm traveling as I research because then I can truly enjoy them and turn my brain kind of off when I'm getting them.
Right.
But there really is a benefit to getting them here. I mean, I know that when I am in more of a stressed out place in my life or wearing myself too thin, that recharge is really important to do.
Yeah. How do you recharge in your position? Because I'm thinking about, I struggle with this as a mom of two, and I feel like I'm running in every direction. And I do like to know, what is your recharge? I can tell you for me, it's definitely like a run by myself early in the morning or something along those lines. But what makes you feel like, okay, I can take on today now that I've done X? What is your X that you have to do?
I think it comes at different times for me during the day too. Sometimes I know I just have to sleep and tomorrow will be a new day. Sometimes I leave work to go for a run, like you said, because I just need that mental reset to then kind of realign my brain, sometimes my emotions, and refocus the day. Sometimes I take a shower. I know it seems weird, but perhaps
I like that.
Sometimes
rated by
I need
that reset,
literally like a cleansing moment to just be alone, quiet in my shower. Sometimes it's where I do my best thinking. I actually got waterproof Post-it notes at one point because I would come up with ideas
incredible
and not be able to write them down.
Were those good? With those
Yeah, they worked well. They were sent to me by a dear friend because they knew that I did this.
Amazing.
They found a solution for me. I live my life on Post-its, literally.
But that's elite. That's a whole nother Post-it note game.
So I think I sleep with them next to my beds and I can write the thought down. And that could be packing my kids' lunch in the morning or an idea for business or something that I have to remember for myself to provide. All of the things. I just feel like my brain never shuts off.
Yeah, when I think about, well, first off, that's such a good tip. I'm like, okay, I need to buy those. I'm going to be in my car, like on Amazon, trying to see if I can get those.
Yeah, they suction cup to the side.
Not,
Bar.
oh my gosh, that is truly tremendous. Okay, I'm into this. When I think about you and growth and kind of where you came from to where you are, I know you well enough to know now that you are in a group called YPO. Talk about that. How do you feel like as a leader, it helps you and just helps you maybe even benchmark with other business owners?
Yeah, for me, it was a group that I honestly never knew existed. My mom was not as social of a person as I am. We do differ in that way. She was very like social with her intimate group of friends and family, but also she had two sisters and I had cousins through that. I am an only child. And so I think it's a different dynamic as well, which is probably why I'm more social with my friends, because those are my chosen sisters.
Yeah.
Like that's my family. And so I think that's why she was never in the business group is kind of my point to this. But after she passed, I have a good friend that knew my parents both, and he is in YPO.
Okay.
And he reached out to me knowing my mom had passed away and knowing what the business looked like and the undertaking that was. We have about 300 employees and I had
It's incredible.
newborn essentially and two kids, and overnight my life changed immensely. And so he sent me a really nice email and just said, I think that it would be worth you learning about this group. If anything, just to give you someone else to bounce ideas off of, because I don't have my mom anymore to do that.
Right.
And my corporate team is phenomenal. But also sometimes you just need an external resource or someone that isn't as close to isn't as close to something, because I think sometimes you get tunnel vision.
Yeah, I think when I think of those groups, so I'm in a group similar to that, WPO, Women's Presidents Organization. And when I go there, I feel like I can actually breathe. And we talk about personal,
it's everything,
professional, and all of it. And the women are holding on to so much is what I found. The first meeting I cried, and I'm not a crier, let me just say that.
Yeah.
I cried. I bawled like a baby. I couldn't even hold it in because I was overwhelmed with the level of sharing and vulnerability when I think all day you have to hold it together.
You finally have your safe space.
You do. And so I really hope that for you and YPO, because I know I'm like, this is the one line item that can never be cut out of the budget because it's such a special thing. And it does help you learn so much about different business aspects and different, I would say, schools of thought even on growth trajectories. And
I found we all have similar pain points or struggles or thoughts, just perhaps different zeros in the game, you know? And for me, we are a big business within our industry to be owned by one person and be the size we are.
Right.
And that's a wonderful feeling, but at the same time, it doesn't give me many other people to benchmark with. Sure. And I feel like a small fish in YPO, and I love that, actually.
Yeah.
Because it gives me someone to, that might be smarter than me or bigger than me or can help inspire me, or it's just, it
helps you grow.
Yes, I appreciate to have someone above me in some way to grow, just like you said.
So
fire.
Yes, it's fire. So my mom, I need to know if she's one of your top 10 customers. So you're going to have to text me after, because literally ever share her some great. Literally, she'll be like, I'm on my way to a meeting. And I'm like, is your meeting at Mitchell's Salon? Because has it been 4 weeks or has it been 3?
All right. We always tell our people that you've made it if you're someone's meeting.
Oh, yeah.
If you're like, I'm going to a meeting, then you come back with new hair.
This is her. This is her my whole life, just so you know. At Mitchell's. And she said, a really great question for Logan would be, talking about their employee retention rates because she is blown away. She goes, I know some of the stylists have been there for like 20 years and that's
longer.
Has to be unheard of.
Yeah.
So she wanted me to, this is for you, Mother, ask this question. And I think it's a great question. And it just shows that they love working for Mitchell's.
We have a very impressive employee retention rate throughout the company in an industry that it is not the standard to have high retention rates. It's a very cyclical industry, as you can imagine. And yeah, we have had people retire from us that started with the company on the first day that we opened up our doors. They came to us and said that they wanted to retire, and we didn't even really, we're like, hold on, we actually have never had someone retire. We've never gone through this 8-minute to figure this out. Yes, exactly.
Hold on, let me text YPO.
Yeah. So I'm like, how do you handle people that retire from your company? But yeah, we have people that have been with us. We're over 40 years old at this point. And so
congratulations.
With us for 40 years, 35, 30. It's something that we've always been really proud of. And I think it also is really a testament to who we are at the heart of a company. I always say that we're a professional family. And I really believe that because we come together in celebrations and also in times where we need each other, right? In heartbreak or tragedy or just having a hard moment in life. We have a lot of front desk girls that start and then end up going to aesthetic school or cosmetology school and then adjust their career with us. And I love that because it really shows that they started working just, a job to have their own money when they were younger and they fell in love with us.
Well, kudos to you. I do love that it's been that long for some people that they've been here. It just shows really there's a statistic around that I think, and I don't know the exact statistic on women running companies, but there is data to prove that when they're running, you have long tenured employees, and that goes to women own and run businesses. And so I know that's a stat that I've read about, and I'll even see like investors invest from like a VC perspective in women that own businesses because they know the retentions and the growth is going to be steady. So I think it really speaks to the formula that you ladies have created and are executing on. What are your big like goals? Do you have any future goals that you're like, this is what I want to, that you can share? Maybe you can't. Maybe you can say, you know what, Erin, I have them, but they're just airtight and I respect that.
Yeah. I feel like for me, I've talked a lot about, who my mom was to the brand. And I think that when I came into the brand, I'm more of a nurturer a little bit, but also my mom had to grow the business. And I am now here to carry on her soul and the legacy of the brand. And I come into it from a more nurturing perspective. And I actually believe that that's exactly who we needed when we needed it. I do feel like the timing made sense in so many hard to understand ways. I've always said that I want us to do one project at a time. I am a working mom and I want to be a present mom. That's very important to me.
Yes.
I never want us to spread ourselves too thin where I can't be that person to my 3 little kids, but also the people under my roof. I want the same for them. If you want to be a mystery reader at your kid's school or go on a field trip or they're in a tournament or you want to pick them up from school, I want those privileges for them just like I have.
I love that.
And I never want us to grow at a rate that we lose that.
Yeah.
Because I think we need to be whole and that in order to show up for Mitchell's how we need to show up for her. So I don't have concrete plans of location expansions. Obviously, we have thoughts in our heads and think about where we would like to go.
Sure.
If an opportunity ever presented itself, honestly, kind of like Lytle Park did, that we can't say no to, we jump on that and we take it because I feel like it's meant to be. But also right now we're really focused on nurturing what's within our walls. And that's through remodels or, just growing our people, pouring into our people how we need to pour into them, taking care of those that we already have.
which is all great. I think about, this is a What Gives. We talk to CEOs all over the region and we ask about, their businesses, how they've grown them, how they've come to be, but also giving back. And I did read a little bit about and hear a little bit about the ways you give back, but can you talk to our listeners about just your philanthropy? And it seems like you do a lot, which feels really good when I hear some of the things you guys have done.
Yeah. Giving back to our local communities that we serve is so important to us. We do it in various different ways. And to be honest, we're not the best at patting ourselves on the back.
I'm here to pat you on the back. Okay.
But I would like to share more of it because it makes us who we are.
Yeah.
It shows people, clients, and potential employees the soul of who we are. So we give back to client needs for neighborhood fundraising efforts for someone that is going through a hard time. So no cause is too small is my feeling with that. And then we also have more of corporate partnerships with the Karen Wellington Foundation. We do a lot with them and have for many, many years and bring in their survivors and give them a experience of fun and relaxation and self-care.
Which is incredible.
Thank you. It's been a really rewarding partnership. I love that it's locally started and the people have been wonderful and, just anything to connect with another human and give them a moment of just relief.
Yes.
And just a moment for themselves is really special for us. We've hosted what we call a day of peace in our locations where on a day that we're closed and all of our staff that is there is volunteering their time to provide mini services. We've done it for parents with children on the spectrum. And we worked with Jen Jordan with that because she obviously is very involved in that community and knows a lot of parents in that community. So she helped us get the word out with them. We did a day of peace for those that are caregivers for the terminally ill patients.
Right.
And I can relate to that with my mom. She passed away of cancer, of osteosarcoma, and I know what that journey unfortunately looks like. And we have many other employees underneath our walls that also have similar connections to that. So we've done that. Let's see, what other...
And something that I know it's not like a write-offable or tax deductible from like a true philanthropy standpoint, but I loved to me was that you're investing in your employees.
Yes.
You're like sending them out. And to me, that was really awesome. So I know in a way, I think that speaks volumes as well to like a philanthropic heart in the sense that you're like, okay, I'm investing in them.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
And we also talk to them about causes that are near and dear to their hearts. So for the holidays, we always have picked a charity for them to contribute to in some way, either purchasing items for or buying gifts for, whatever the charity is. And this year, each location is picking their own.
Oh, I love that. That's kind of fun.
Because everyone has different...
Yeah. There are so many like good holiday causes too that have like come to mind. There's like that. What's the diaper one for people that can't afford diapers and downtown? And there's food pantries and all those things that you can collect winter jackets for. And so I love that they get to choose their own.
Yeah. It gives it a personal... I'm very big on personal connections.
Yeah.
And it gives them that personal connection to the charity since they chose it.
Right.
And we always do, we call them jeans days because we're not technically per dress code allowed to wear jeans.
This is like the public school systems that I hear about.
Yeah. We do jeans days for our internal needs because our employees really want to come together for those that are going through a hard time.
That's a great idea.
We've had employees, go through... they have to take a leave because a spouse might be ill or they're undergoing breast cancer or surgery or, we're an active business too. So if someone got her shoulder surgery, they have to stop working.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And how do they do it?
Yeah. And what does that look like for them? Right. We've always found ways to really show up and come together.
I love that. No wonder that they just feel so supported by you as like the president and owner. I would stick around too for 20 plus years into retirement because that is nice to have a family.
Yes.
And to me, it sounds like it really is a family. You're bringing them along. So I love
what
that.
you should do.
Yeah.
Not just being a good human.
Right. It's part of your duty. I agree as a leader.
Yeah.
So kind of a weird but funny question we like to cut up with people is we say, and we started this, I don't know, 3 years ago now, I think. But if it's the end of the world and you have to grab your quote unquote bug out bag, like your bag that you would take if the world is ending. And let's say you have your kids, right? Like we can't have the trite answers of my kids and my significant other, my dog. Okay, we get it. Those things are with you. But what would be in the bug out bag? We've heard some great answers.
Gosh, that's a tough one.
It can be anything. We've heard funny to practical.
I know. I feel like for me, even just thinking about like my industry, like face wash.
Yes, I like that.
A hairbrush. I just hate when I can't get my fingers through my hair. I wash my hair way too many times, according to my hairstylist, but it's who I am.
Those are
music.
Yeah. I've heard just really interesting answers. One gentleman did say a pretty girl on his arm, and I'm like, well, I don't know that can fit in the bag, but I like it. You know,
We
like
said you have those people.
Yeah,
we already got people, so that didn't count, right?
That didn't count. I like that. It's way better. It's way better. And I've heard things like a bow and arrow and like matches. So
They were way too functional.
They were like very primal. Mine were not primal.
I would really die.
Mine was like lipstick. Mine was lipstick, a book, running shoes.
Wine. I'll live on
wine. And I think I had wine. So you and I would be good friends on an island somewhere if the apocalypse did happen.
And maybe you need to invite the bow and arrow guy so we can eat.
Exactly. He'll get an invitation.
And start a fire.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We'll be fine. When I think about hairstyles, like the books used to flip through at salons that I think of when I was a child.
Oh, I remember
their books, right?
Yeah, looking for your hairstyle.
Yeah,
cuts, long cuts, mid-length.
Right, all of it.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite decade for hairstyles?
Gosh, I feel like I am not a hairstylist. I never have been a hairstylist. I do not have that creative gift. I admire everyone that works on the floor in the salons because I cannot imagine that. I'm so my mom's daughter. But I feel like when I think about hairstyles and times, I always, for whatever reason, default to the Rachel days of Friends because I grew up watching that show and I loved that show. But also I love Jennifer Aniston has always had such beautiful hair and natural hair.
She does.
And I've related to that. So I feel like it's partly that era, but also partly just her in general, right? Of just having these timeless, easy, seemingly like classic and effortless styles that work for her.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I was gonna go like the flip out, you know?
Oh yes,
the flip out of what the 2000s and 60s or 50s.
You know, I look back at some of my photos and I'm like, well, that was that was in style. We were testing it out.
I was the child test sample here to see if it worked.
Yes, I've been dark, red, blonde.
That's amazing. So I just think about as a CEO myself, I'm trying to automate as much as I can, but also I'm in the relationship business. I know you're in the relationship business.
Yeah.
How do you foresee like with AI and trends in the salon industry and business, do you see changes coming?
Yes, I feel like there always is a level of evolving with the times and from a technology perspective. But I feel like for us, more of that hits our operations and how we run the business versus how we show up to our clients or our employees. The human connection has not changed. We've always connected face to face with our people, and that has stood the test of time. What has changed is, how our booking software or inventory management or yes, AI now we can utilize. However, I prefer to use it sparingly because I don't want us to lose our soul and our voice within it. I feel like a lot of people can overuse it because it makes it so easy, and it kind of, in a way, spits out a solution for you very quickly. However, that isn't a human solution.
Right.
And there's so many other factors that come into play. I have used it for just wording on things sometimes, just to find different words or a way to express myself, but only for small snippets.
Right. It's not like send this email. Every now and then I send something like that, and my team will say, Erin, this was AI. And I'm like, yeah, but it was really good, right?
Yeah.
Way better than Erin.
Them to feel
the personal.
Authentically us is important to me. So yes, I believe that there's a purpose for it, but
yes, completely agree.
We are still us and will always remain us.
And to your point, I do not want a robot doing my pedicure or doing my facial. I think that just freaks me out. Or even my hair, you know?
I'm sure robots can do a lot of things. Yes, like they have those little machines you can put your fingers in, and they're apparently can paint your nails. But they don't trim your cuticles. They don't shape your nail. They don't, this is just there's no human connection.
Yes.
That isn't the service or the interaction that I want or who we are as a company.
Right. And I do think I hear this a lot from girlfriends of mine that, when they do go to Mitchell's, it is that time for them, almost therapeutic, because it's like somebody is doing your hair, making you feel good about yourself and reset in a positive way. And I know it's not true therapy, but it's like you're connecting with this person. Yeah. You're talking about when you sit in the chair, like how things have been, the update. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having
me. Such a joy. And I look forward to more time at Mitchell's Salon and Day Spa. And I am going to have to come down here and have a day. So thank you.
You can get in competition with your mom.
Yes, I will.
To learn more about how to expand your philanthropy, please reach out to the Northern Cincinnati Foundation.